Josh, based on your experience, what are some of the key ingredients to an effective opening?
Well, I really love this idea of needing to capture attention within a brief span of time. And I do hold to that 7-second rule. I do find that's quite accurate. But the flip side of that is that we're taking up the listener's time. And when somebody is listening to you, they're trying to decide very, very quickly whether or not this is relevant, whether or not
Mhm.
this is important for them to listen to and pay attention to and lean and engage. And if you communicate that this is not, in fact, something that's going to be important for them to listen to, this is just another speech, this is just another talk, or even just another product, they'll stop listening and they'll
Mhm.
until they move away, they'll start thinking about their inbox or something else that they deem important. And so my most heartfelt belief about openings is that within those 7 seconds, you have to establish relevance. You
Mm.
have to communicate that what I'm about to say is not just about me speaking. It's not even about me trying to communicate my idea. It's about making sure that I'm giving a service, that what I'm about to say is important for you to listen to, and that it's vital that you lean in and pay attention to.
I like that. It's vital that you lean in. And part of a reason an audience is going to lean in is if they feel it's relevant, is if it's going to be a benefit to them. How important do you think authenticity is in how you open?
Yes, we chatted about this a little bit before. So often I come to talk to clients and they say, "Oh, I should I do this gimmick? Should I stand up or maybe you know, uh, if I use a loud booming voice, I'm going to capture somebody's attention." And the reality is that that same mechanism in our brain that's trying to decide whether or not what's about to be said is important for me to listen to, it's also trying to discern whether or not I'm going to be fed a load of BS. We are so inundated these days with information, and our
Mhm.
brains are trying to sift through what's important to dedicate our energy to and what's not. And when somebody comes across as inauthentic, when somebody comes across as too salesy, we tune out, whether we intend to or otherwise. And that goes along with whether or not you are putting on some sort of artificial suit, whether or not you are putting on a voice or structure that is inauthentic. Um, and very frequently, the work that I do with my clients is just trying to get them back to a sense of ease of being with themselves so that
Mm.
the way that they're communicating does not set off that BS meter. And in fact, you can get to the heart of what's happening in that engagement.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. So, relevancy, authenticity, doing something that suits your own style, I would think really urging people to really lean into their strengths and draw on techniques that are going to uh, take advantage of where people are naturally strong.
Right.
Good. Okay. So I think it's always helpful to have kind of a toolkit of various types of openers that work depending on the audience, the situation, what is authentic to your own style. Sarah, can you talk a little bit about the various devices that we cover in our workshops? And then we'll get into specific situations and what works and doesn't work depending on the audience and the situation.
Yeah, and I think that's important as well to think about the audience before you decide how you're going to start your presentation. Think about who the audience are. What do they need from you? What do they need you to be? Which part of your personality are you going to be drawing on? And really, as Stephen Covey said in that 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, start with the end in mind. Build your whole presentation first, and then when you've done that, you can then decide, okay, how am I going to introduce this? So yes, Carrie, to your point, I've got lots of different suggestions that we use in our training programs. You can share a story, and I think personal stories or a customer story work so well. But building on Josh's point, it has to be genuine. You have to be authentic about this, and just making it up, people can smell that BS. It's almost like a first date, if you like. So those authentic stories are brilliant. The other way you could do it, if telling a story is going to take too long, you can ask a question. Now, this could be a rhetorical question, or it could be a question that you actually want the audience to respond to. So again, think about that style you're going to use in that presentation. If you want it to be really interactive, you want to get the audience up, then get them to answer the questions right from the get-go, or get them to reflect by asking one of those other questions. I read somewhere about a financial advisor who started his talk about retirement just by saying, think about your ideal holiday destination.
Mm.
You could see they were all kind of nodding. Where would you like to go? Who would you like to take with you? And of course, it was very easy to sell financial planning for retirement because in their heads, they were already there. So reflective questions can work as well. You can quote somebody famous.
Mm.
One of my favorite ones, as Einstein said, if you keep doing the same things, you are going to get the same results. I realize I'm paraphrasing, but it gets people thinking, well, how could we do things differently? So it leads into a talk very successfully. As long as it's not too corny, you could use prompts, you could use props, you can use pictures and all sorts of things. You can get quite creative with this sort of thing. That it really is what's suitable for your audience, but something that's going to really capture their imagination right from the beginning.